The city was quiet at night, but the hum of danger was everywhere. Ethan Carter had thought it was just another long day. CEO of a tech firm, he was used to stress, but nothing could have prepared him for the alley behind the downtown office. The place smelled of gasoline and wet concrete, a chill hanging over it like a warning. He heard the first scream before he saw anything. A shadow moved at the far end of the alley, a man in black, carrying something heavy. Ethan froze. His instincts screamed at him to run, but his mind was already racing. Who had been following him, and why? Then he saw her. A little girl, no older than 7, crouched behind a dumpster. Her small hands clutched a backpack far too big for her frame. She had wide, determined eyes, scanning the alley like a soldier. "Hey," Ethan shouted. "Go inside." The girl didn't flinch. She leapt from her hiding place, running straight at the approaching men. "What the?" Ethan muttered. The first man swung a crowbar, but she ducked, rolling across the pavement. Her tiny fist jabbed forward like precise machinery. The man stumbled, unbalanced by her sudden strike. She grabbed a chain from her backpack, swung it, and it wrapped around his ankle. He fell with a thud. Ethan's jaw dropped. The second man aimed a gun. The girl dove behind a trash can just in time. The shot rang out, ricocheting off the wall. She popped up again, sprinting directly toward Ethan. "Get behind me," he yelled. She didn't. Instead, she reached the other man, kicked a small, metallic device from his hand. It clattered across the wet concrete. Ethan realized it was a remote detonator. "You're too late," the man snarled, lunging. But she was faster. Small, nimble, fearless. She grabbed the detonator, pressed a button, and a blinding spark shot across the alley. The man screamed as his hand recoiled from the shock. Ethan blinked. "What the hell?" The girl grabbed his arm. "Come on." They ran, footsteps pounding behind them. But she led him down side streets Ethan had never known existed, until finally, they reached a narrow fire escape. "Up," she shouted. They climbed together, Ethan's suit catching on rusted metal. Behind them, he heard shouts and crashing. When they reached the roof, the girl finally spoke, her voice calm despite the chaos. "You're Ethan Carter," she said. "You shouldn't be out there." Who are you?" he asked, catching his breath. "My name is Mia," she said. "I'm 7. And you're in danger." Ethan stared at her. 7? That small? That brave? "They tried to blow up the alley," she said, pointing down. "I stopped it." "Stopped it? How?" She smiled faintly. "You don't have time to know how. Just follow me." They climbed down a ladder to a neighboring building and darted into a dark corridor. Ethan realized he hadn't seen the men anywhere. They had disappeared. Mia led him to a service elevator. "We need to get to a safe place," she said. "Why are you doing this?" Ethan asked. She paused, looking him directly in the eyes. "Because you're my dad." Ethan froze. The room spun. What did you say?" "I'm your daughter," she repeated, calm as if stating a fact no one could argue. "I didn't know until tonight, but now I do." Ethan didn't know how to react. Shock, disbelief, awe, they all collided in his chest. A 7-year-old had saved his life and held the truth he had never imagined. Footsteps echoed again. This time, farther away, cautious. "They'll come back," Mia said. "We have to move fast." Ethan nodded, suddenly understanding that the night had only just begun. He had been running from danger his whole life, but now, a 7-year-old had become the reason he survived, and the reason he might finally be ready to fight back. They slipped through the back exit of the building and into a dimly lit alley. Mia's small hand gripped his tightly, guiding him through shadows, over fences, and past parked trucks. "Where are we going?" he asked. "Somewhere safe." "For now," she said. Ethan looked at her, that small, fierce figure leading him through the darkness. He had never felt more vulnerable, and yet more protected. When they reached the edge of the city, she stopped. "Here," she said. "You'll be safe for a few minutes." He finally let go of her hand, taking a step back. "Mia, my daughter, how did I not know?" She shrugged. "You weren't supposed to, but I was supposed to protect you tonight." Another sound reached them, tires on asphalt, low and menacing. Ethan grabbed her hand again. "Hold on," he whispered. "We're not done yet." And somewhere in the dark, the people who had tried to kill him were already closing in, unaware that the smallest hero in the city was already one step ahead. The tires rolled closer, echoing against the alley walls. Ethan tightened his grip on Mia's small hand. She looked up at him, calm, her eyes glinting with determination that belied her age. They won't stop, she said simply. I know, he replied. We need a plan. Mia pulled him toward a narrow service stairwell tucked between two old warehouses. The kind of place a man could hide, but not a car. She climbed with surprising speed, dragging him after her. Every step rattled the metal stair, but somehow, she moved as though the building itself recognized her. When they reached the roof, she stopped again. The city spread beneath them, streetlights flickering in the fog. In the distance, headlights flashed, two SUVs circling, cautious but persistent. They're not giving up, Ethan said. His voice shook, but he forced it steady. Then we don't give them a choice, Mia said. Ethan froze. Wait, what do you mean? She reached into her backpack and pulled out a small device, sleek and rectangular. She pressed a button, and a screen flickered to life. A map of the surrounding blocks, streets, and building entrances. Tiny red dots moved along the roads. They're tracking us, she said. But I've rigged the city cameras to show fake paths. They think we're going north, but we're going south. Ethan blinked. 7 years old, and she was already thinking like a seasoned operative. All right, he said, adjusting his tie and jacket. Lead the way. They descended a fire escape on the opposite side of the building and slipped into the shadows. Every alley, every corner, seemed alive with potential threats. Ethan's mind raced, imagining what these men could do if they caught up. But Mia's hand in his, steady and unafraid, anchored him. As they turned a corner, a lone figure stepped from the shadows, tall, wearing black tactical gear. Ethan froze. His pulse hammered. Mia didn't flinch. She pushed him behind a dumpster and whispered, "Watch." The figure scanned the street. Then he moved on, disappearing as silently as he had appeared. They're scouting, Mia said. We have to stay ahead. Ethan followed her lead. For the next hour, they darted through alleys, climbed walls, and crossed rooftops. She knew the city as though it were her playground, and now it was their battlefield. Finally, they reached an abandoned warehouse near the river. Inside, it smelled of oil, rust, and decay. Mia pressed herself against the wall and motioned for Ethan to follow. Here, she said, showing him a ladder leading to a hidden loft. We can rest for a few minutes. Ethan collapsed onto a crate. How did you learn all this? He asked. I watch. I learn. You'd be surprised what you can pick up when you're 7. He looked at her, awe and disbelief mixing with exhaustion. You're incredible. She shrugged. I have to be. You're important. Before Ethan could respond, the sound of engines broke the silence again. The men had found them, or they had never stopped looking. Get down, Mia hissed. She pulled a small flare from her backpack and ignited it. The bright red light exploded, illuminating the loft and casting long shadows below. 2 men appeared at the warehouse entrance, blinking against the sudden glare. Ethan realized that Mia had led them into a trap. Now, she shouted. She swung a metal rod like a bat, knocking one man off balance. Ethan grabbed a pipe and joined in, hitting the second man as he tried to steady himself. The fight was brief but intense. Mia moved with agility that defied her size, every strike precise. Ethan covered the entrances, swinging at anyone who came close. Finally, the men retreated into the night, clearly unprepared for the resistance they met from a 7-year-old and a terrified, determined CO. Ethan sank to the floor, breathing heavily. Mia sat beside him, her small chest rising and falling. You all right? She asked. I've never been more alive, he said, or more in debt to someone so small. She smiled faintly. You should be. Minutes later, Ethan's phone buzzed. Unknown number. He ignored it. We can't stay here, Mia said. They'll come back with more. Ethan nodded. Where to then? She thought for a moment. We go to my mom's. She's expecting me tonight. Something clicked in Ethan's mind. Your mom? He asked. Yes, she said. But you're me too. You're my dad. The weight of it hit him again. His own daughter, alive, brave, and now guiding him through a life-threatening chase. They left the warehouse cautiously, sticking to shadows. The city that had seemed quiet now felt alive and threatening, each sound a potential danger. They reached her mother's apartment building without incident. Mia led him inside, up the narrow stairwell, and to a small apartment that smelled of baking and fresh laundry. Her mother, a stern but kind woman, looked up in surprise. Mia, I'm safe, Mia said. And this is, she turned to Ethan. This is your father. The woman's eyes widened. Your father? Ethan nodded, still catching his breath. Seems so. For the first time since the night began, he felt a strange relief. They were safe, for now, but he knew the danger wasn't gone. The men who had tried to kill him would not give up easily. He knelt beside Mia. "You've saved me more than you know." She shrugged. "I told you. You're important, and you're my dad." He smiled faintly. "I guess that makes me a lucky man." The night stretched on. Ethan couldn't sleep. His thoughts raced about the men, the truth he had avoided, and the daughter who had saved his life. When morning came, they would have to decide what came next. For now, he held Mia's hand, grateful and amazed, knowing his life had changed forever. Because sometimes survival did not come from power or money, but from the courage of a 7-year-old. And Ethan Carter had never been more grateful for the truth he could no longer run from.